Hello and welcome to Immigrant Voices. I'm your host, Tatiana Espinal. This is the third episode of our regular program connecting North Shore Community College to the diverse immigrant community in Lynn and its surrounding cities and towns. Each episode brings together community leaders and residents to discuss immigrant life on the North Shore, share information, and give each other advice on making transition to the U.S. easier. Today's program takes a closer look at managing money in the United States, from opening a bank account to wiring money to establishing a good credit history. We're extremely lucky to welcome Yves Gonzalez from Eastern Bank and Lida Gustafson from Salem 5 Bank. Welcome both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can you tell me a little bit about your background and share with our viewers a little bit about your experience in the banking world?
I was hired at Salem 5 in 1982, so it's almost 30 years. I got hired as a teller, worked my way up through the various positions in the branch, transferred into the online banking in the mid-1990s, and I've been in learning and development since about 2000.
That's great. You have a lot of experience. Thank you.
Sure do.
How about you, Yves?
I've been with Eastern Bank for the past 8 years, always in the human resources capacity as a generalist, supporting over 300 employees in different areas. More importantly, a lot of the work that I do is diversity and inclusion. So I help support the strategy and implement the programs for diversity and inclusion at Eastern Bank.
And that's very important in any organization. So tell me a little bit about the challenges that you've observed in terms of the immigrants, your customers, and what challenges do you see them going through in terms of managing their financials?
What I've noticed, because I go out into the branches and I work with the new hires, and I notice a lot of language barriers. And luckily we have a lot of employees who speak various languages, and they seem to hire them so that they can really benefit the customers in a particular community. And I've noticed that those customers are very dependent upon the employees who speak the same language that they do, because without communication it's very hard to be able to select a bank or choose the correct loan product or even just feel safe going to a bank if you really can't communicate with the staff there.
Sure, that's a significant barrier. How about you?
I absolutely agree with Linda. Another barrier that we've seen is even the lack of information or confidence to go into a bank, because a lot of the times in the immigrants' home country they don't trust the banking system. Even just to get them into a bank to help them understand our system is a little tough.
Okay, so what would Eastern Bank do, for example, to help them with those challenges?
A lot of that work that we've done specifically with Money Smart is go into the communities, nonprofits, high schools, colleges, just to explain a little bit about what banking is. Simply from how to choose a bank to how to manage your checking account, the importance of a savings account, credit cards. So there's a lot of different modules to help them understand what our banking system is and that it is safe. And it's safer than putting your money underneath the bed or to put it in the icebox. Banking here in the United States is safe, and I think that's really important for them to understand.
Yes. How about you at Salem 5 Bank?
I think a lot of what we do is very similar. About a year ago we started offering the Money Smart Young Adult Program to area nonprofits, and we've done a lot of work with the Salem Boys and Girls Clubs and the Salem Y. I think we did some work with a middle school group in Salem, and it was the same thing. It's trying to make sure that the kids understand the banking system in the U.S. And we've even experienced kids who want to make sure they were able to translate and teach their parents what they were learning, because they have the stronger English skills than their parents do. So it's not just for them. A lot of times it's going to benefit their whole family.
So if I'm understanding correctly, the Money Smart program is a very basic training for individuals and their families to learn about banking. And can you describe a little bit, like a basic description of what Money Smart is?
It has 10, I believe it's 10 modules. We'll start describing about the different types of banks in the U.S., how to choose a bank. It talks a little bit about some terminology. It will talk about what's a checking account, what are various types of checking account, what's a savings account, what are the purposes, things to look for when you want to borrow money to buy a car, if you are looking to purchase a home, finance a college education, and it's really very basic. It's written by the FDIC, and in the back of each module it has resources that the participants can go to and that they can trust, that they're going to get accurate information on the web.
I see. Anything you want to add to that description?
The great thing about the program is that it's very customizable. So, for example, you can teach the same program to a third grader, to an eighth grader, to an adult, and it's just basically the examples you use and the terms that you use. So it's great that it can be used from elementary all the way to adulthood.
Yves, if there was a piece of advice that you could give to an immigrant family or immigrant parents about their banking and managing money in the U.S., what would you tell them?
I would tell them definitely use your resources. There are a lot of free resources out there. It doesn't cost money. Find someone you trust. Like Linda said, there are a lot of different languages spoken at the banks. So find someone you trust so that you can be able to understand, but completely understand before going into something, because that's really important. There are different types of checking accounts, as Linda mentioned. To be able to be in the right product is important. To be able to choose the right bank is important. Not one size fits all here. So do your research, use your resources, and find someone you trust so that you can make the right decisions.
Linda, in terms of advice, what would you say?
What I probably would add is for someone not to be afraid to ask questions, and don't feel pressured that the first bank you walk into is the only place that the only option that you have.
Yes, that's important.
And just make sure you ask questions, and if you're not sure about what you're doing, don't do anything. Go home, think about it, do your research, study, talk to friends and family, and just make sure that you're making the right decision.
Right. Well, thank you so much to both of you. It's been great for you to come today and give us some understanding about managing money in the U.S. I think our viewers have learned quite a bit today. Thank you so much.
Thank you. My pleasure. Thank you.
My college is a real opportunity.
A real opportunity.
A place where there's more access and more people like me who are going places.
My college is a place to start.
Whether you're starting out or starting over.
Where hard work makes the grade and experience counts.
Experience counts.
It gives me a pathway to my career.
It opens the door to higher education.
And a future filled with rewards
and possibilities.
My college is North Shore Community College.
Welcome back. Our guests now are immigrants who will talk about their experiences handling money in the United States. Please welcome to the show Israel Figueroa, Yves Bofossa, Kanchana Chum, and Lida. Welcome to all of you.
Thank you for having me here.
Can you tell me a little bit about your backgrounds and your experiences while handling finances here in the States?
Well, for me, I came in to the United States when I was about 40 years old. That's about 13 years ago. And one of the things that I learned is that it's very important to have a good credit rating.
Yeah.
And not to spend all your money.
That's key.
Yes, I mean. In Puerto Rico, or I mean, with the people that I used to mingle with, we work and we spend our money. I mean, every penny of it. In the United States, I learned not to do that.
Okay. Yves, how about you?
Originally from the Congo, in Africa, a country where 80% of the population lives under poverty, meaning that. Personally, I did not have access to a bank account until I came to this country. As I came here, and I was exposed to, new credit lines for the first time, and all these opportunities, all these products and services that we didn't have.
Yes.
We tempted, and this is what makes us spend more than we have. the temptation. And, you know, it got me into trouble. And, you know, I had to work my way up, you know, fixing my credit.
Sure.
Don't spend more than you have.
Yes.
That's key.
That's key. How about you, Kanchana?
Hi. To me, I've been here for next month. It's gonna be my 3 years that I've been living in the United States, and I find out money is so important. For the more you earn, and then if you don't know clear about the finance, you're gonna lose it, and you don't know where to go get it back. You know, so I work for full time and go back to school at the night time, and sometimes I don't know how to, you know, go to a bank and then do a bank online. You know, it's hard. So when by the time I leave from work, they close the bank already. You know, they close early, and then I need someone to help me to show how to register by online, to pay by online. Yeah, it's hard to me because it's different language, and some of my coworkers, they will make fun because I speak with the broke English all the time. And they say, yeah, I'm shy to say that, you know, because it's not my mother tongue, and I know your language better than you. You know?
Yes,
and
absolutely. And to manage your money, of course, communicating with a banking institution is important, but you know, you need to understand what you're doing, and by doing it online, I think it's a very intelligent solution to your problems in terms of language and also your schedule. How about you, Lida?
First of all, it took me about 2 months to recognize all the coins, then all that stuff, quarters. I need to remember it.
Okay, I understand what you're saying. To tell the difference between the coins.
To tell the difference, all those, you know, all those coins.
Yeah.
Because
I don't have it in my country.
The first year that I've been here, well, now I've been here 5 years now, but the first years I've been here, I studied a little bit back home, English, so, but most of the English that I speak right now, I studied here.
Yeah.
I watch a lot of cartoons, I watch a lot of TVs to learn from that. And I've been involved with community in Lynn, community a lot.
Oh, really? Doing volunteer work?
Yeah, I volunteer a lot.
Actually, volunteering is the perfect way of getting a job, but that's for another episode.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So tell me a little bit about, well, you already kind of touched on lessons that you learned when managing your finances in the States, this being a new country with new currency and new opportunities and then temptations. Israel, tell me a little bit about what you were saying in terms of fiscal discipline and how you got to start a business. Tell us about your business first.
My wife and I, we have a daycare center. The daycare center is a capacity of 29 children.
Wow.
And we have 4 teachers in there. And then my wife is the director, and I work as the administration portion of the house. How did we start it? How did she start it? Well, first of all, she started because we had a child, daughter, that she did not want nobody to take care of her. So she started her own family daycare. She got licensed and so capacity of 5 children. And I was working at that time. I was working at the airport, but I noticed that she was making more money taking care of children. I mean, 5 children more than I was making. Not only that, I used to spend about 10 hours a week on the road going and commuting, and she just got up and drink the coffee there and stay there. And I said, well, wait a minute, I mean, something is wrong.
So how did you put your finances in order in order to like pool your resources together? And
because I went to the bank trying to find out how can I save. I mean, I went to the bank and the person in the bank told me that, first of all, we need to have a goal. how much money do you want to save, and for what reason? Why? I mean, because you can put money in different places. When I say different places, I'm talking about for instance, a checking account. You can have an individual retirement account. You can have emergency fund. You can have mutual funds.
Sure.
You can have different places. So how much money do you want to put in each? And also they told us that we need to have 10% of money going, 10% of our income. And I said, but wait a minute, we don't make that much, so we're gonna have to try to increase our income. And that's as soon as I saw how much money she was bringing in with a daycare, I quit my job and started helping her so we can have, instead of 5 children, 10 children, and increase our income. And from 10, it went all the way up to 29 now. So our income went from $45,000 a year, right now, that's gross income, to maybe about $250,000 a year.
Wow. And you become an employer.
And exactly, that's correct.
So you're helping the community by providing jobs.
Exactly. And I also tell the teachers there to go and save money. I mean, don't spend it all. Have a goal on how much money you want to have in the future.
That's excellent.
You need to think about it. We're getting old. So you need to think about how much money you want to have in the future. Okay? Not now. Now you're young and you can work. In the future, so just go for it. Make a goal and go for it.
That's the goals, I think, are basic in any type of planning, of course. Yves, do you feel like you've learned lessons in terms of, you were saying about how you were able to get out of debt, and now what do you see coming forward for you?
Education.
Excellent.
That's the main reason I came to this country. Education, because I think that with the proper education, the young people will be able to earn more income, which would, give them more flexibility to manage.
What's your goal for education? What are you interested in?
Finance. Because if you can't manage your money wisely, you can't manage your life wisely.
Yes.
So it's all about what you have now and what you can do with what you have now, so that you can live in the future, sustain. I would advise young people really to get an education, because financial literacy is not a given. Credit is good, but without the proper education to manage the credit lines that we get, it's a recipe for disaster.
I think too that in order to be successful, it's okay that you have your goals, but it really needs to be a family effort. It really needs to be, you need to set goals and kind of make it, if your spouse or your, whomever the significant other is in your life doesn't have the same long-term vision in terms of finances, it won't really work that well, I don't think.
It is true. I mean, me and my wife, we have to sit down and sit down and talk about it and do it. I mean, you cannot have one individual going one way and another individual going the other way.
And understand what's important to each of you, because if one feels great just by saving money and the other one feels great by traveling, that's their goal, you really need to come together somewhere in between, because you can't just always keep the money and you can't just always spend the money. So you both need to be happy. Kanchana, how about you in terms of lessons that you've learned?
To me, I feel like a bit younger, and to make a family is hard because the finance, if you if you think that one way is saving, that's a good one, but you never know, what's gonna happen tomorrow. So when you spend it, it's not like you happy and your husband, if he think that he's still young, he want to, you know, hang out, spend money, because you never know tomorrow. So you need to tell them, you know, talk to each other, sit down, okay, honey, because we need to got some money for our kid, to buy a house, you know, how to buy it. You need to save money from your salary, from my, just like put $100 per week for, you know, saving account for each other. But I don't know for the a different language. To my culture is husband and wife, we have a joint account together, you know, we save a lot of money and we plan together. If we only have $50 per week, we only spend for $50, and if we don't have money, just stay home and watch TV. That's how we do.
Instead of whipping out a credit card.
And then the ladies, not too much for shopping. We have it, but not all the time, you know.
Yes, and I feel that as a parent, it's hard to teach those values to a child that's growing up in a culture where, you know, they're exposed to so much and they want so much, and just that's a challenge.
Yeah, that's true.
What do you think, Lida?
That's whatever he says was really hate, because money is not easy to find. You have to go for money. Money don't come to you. So right now, I try to, you know, save as much as I can, but maybe it's not gonna happen because you got from the right hand and gone by the left hand.
Only help number.
I get only the numbers in my account. I don't see no money. And the truth is, you have to save as much as you can before you know, like what you said, you never know what gonna happen tomorrow. Because maybe you get laid off from work, maybe you get an accident, you gotta pay for the hospital, you pay for this, pay for that, and it's really hard right now. It's very hard to save up right now. I don't know, it's just hard.
I tell I got an 11-year-old son and a 16-year-old daughter now, and one thing I tell them is that you need to buy what you need, not what you want.
Yes.
You need to buy what you need. And sometimes my son, they say, it's so hard to know what I need, Dad, or you know, but it's what you need, not what you want.
Yes, yes.
You know, I mean, it's just as simple.
Is that the advice that you would give an immigrant family in terms of?
Yes, when they come over here, they see so much. They see so much in abundance. You know, brand new cars, brand new this, wait a minute, I mean, buy what you need. It took for those families years, maybe 15, 20 years to buy whatever they have. Don't try to buy it in 1 or 2 months.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, think about it and just buy what you need.
I agree with you. I think that there's a whole industry that, you know, with businesses that caters to, you know, the working class, you know, low-income people, immigrants, you know, the rent to own, you know, furniture, stores, all these, you know, cater to us, you know, low-income, immigrants. You know, it gives you a feel, you know, it makes you feel larger than life because you can't afford it.
Yes.
But, you know, as long as you can earn more than you spend, you'll be fine. I tried that, and like I said earlier, it's tempting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's very tempting.
How about you, Kanchana and Lida? I know, obviously, you're both immigrants, but you're also very young, and you know, you are in college, right? Are you in college too?
No, I'm going to get study to get GED because I didn't have.
Oh, excellent. So you're on your way.
I am.
So, what advice do you give people in your age range and that are also immigrants?
My advice is because a lot of immigrants, they come over here, they try to work more than to study, than school, than go to school. But to me, I think that school is more important than anything else, than all the job out there.
It's an investment.
Yeah, it's an investment, because right now you make money, but you think you make a little money. But after you finish your school, you can make as much as you can, because you get more knowledge, more, you learn more, you study more, so you know what you're doing. And you also can study, how the world's go. But if you're not going to school, you just go to work, because you spend time at work more than you spend time at home or school, and you don't know what is going on. So you need to know, the best thing is school. That's what I think. Because all my whole life, it's not whole life yet, because I'm 20 something. So
your long life.
Yeah, I think I always been in school. I'm not saying I'm the smartest guy in the world, but I'm not smart either. So but I try to go as much as I can, because if I'm not going to school, I'm not going to speak English what I speak right now. If I'm not learning, I'm not speak whatever I speak right now. Because some people, they come to the country, they just go to work, and they don't speak, the English language. Let's say the English language, because they only go to work with their own peoples, the same kind of peoples, and they don't learn any new thing, not learning, any kind of different languages.
Yes.
So
just working and listening to the radio in your own language and watching TV in your own language really won't get you too far.
You learn nothing.
You have to integrate.
Integrate, yes. Because.
Do you want to add anything?
Yeah, to me, in the same age that we are immigrant in here, most of the people, when they come at the first year, they always thought that they want to be, something and study for full time. But in here, you need to work for the, get some experience and go back to school. And you need to plan for yourself, how much you spend for the semester. That's what I do. I always plan. I don't know. They always ask me, what is your major? How long you gonna take? How long you gonna graduate? And to me, I am just only the student at night time. So I mean, it's a long way to go. If they spend 4 years, I will spend 6 years or more than that.
So you will go as long as it takes you.
Yeah. I grab the paper and the pen and write down, how much I pay for the semester, how many classes can I take, if you want to push yourself, take
so
more.
budgeting is really critical for you.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then how much you can waste the money from, if you own a lot of credit card, have the money. I'm gonna kill myself,
But first of all, that I was taught when I came to these countries not to play with the credit card.
That was a smart lesson.
Yeah, because by the time I came over here, I didn't know any English. And if you play with a credit card, and they say this and that, the rule, this and that, and you don't know how to read it, you don't know how to manage your money, you can't go to the bank and ask, how much left in my account. So this hard, because credit card can tie you up really good.
Yes. Welcome back. We're joined again by Linda Gustafson from Salem 5 Bank to help us answer some important questions about finances and credit. Thank you, Linda, for being here with us again. And I want to go directly to Israel. Israel, during the break, you started answering a really interesting question about fixing credit. Can you ask the question again so our viewers can hear the information?
Well, my question is, can you really fix a credit once you have bad credit? Are there any agency that can fix those credit?
In my opinion, I don't think so. I think what you need to do is work with your creditors and work out a payment plan. I think those companies that say, if you pay me X amount of dollars, I'm going to wipe out your debt and give you a clean credit report, I don't think they're reputable.
Okay.
There is a nonprofit in Beverly, I believe it's called Consumer Credit Services. They're at the Cummings Center in Beverly, and anybody who is having trouble with their credit, I would recommend that you make an appointment with them because they're reputable, they're a nonprofit, and they will help you get back on track, but there's no magic bullet to make bad credit go away.
Does anybody else have a question for Linda now that she's here available to us?
I want to ask you about if I want to open, a small business, let's say a small auto shop. Say, how do I get the fund or the credit from the to loan the bank to open the shop?
A lot of times, what banks will do with people just starting out with a business is to have you go through the Small Business Administration. I'm not an expert on those types of loans, but I know that those are loans that a lot of the banks do offer. I believe they may be backed by the Small Business Administration, but they're very small micro loans, I believe is the term. So you would want to talk to someone about Small Business Loan Administration offerings.
Okay. I'd like to get back to what we said earlier about the statute of limitations when it comes to loans. They're not forgiven when we file for bankruptcy. Are we talking about federal loans or private?
Well, on your credit report, bad credit can stay there for 7 to 10 years. So even if you
file a long time.
If you file for bankruptcy, or if you do have a problem, it could be someone lost their job and they weren't able to pay their bills. Well, that's still going to be on your credit report, and it is a very long period of time. It's like 7 to 10 years. So that's why establishing good credit and keeping it is so important, because if you do get into trouble, it will follow you for a really long time. And will either, a lot of employers will pull credit reports when they're, considering someone for a position, housing. A lot of times they pull credit reports. So it's just so key to start out on the right foot and stay there, because it will stay for a long, long time and affect a lot of areas of your life.
We've run out of time. Thank you so much for being here again. And Linda and Salem 5 Bank is wonderful for sending you here and answering these questions. Thank you so much to all of you.
My pleasure. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. We hope that you've enjoyed hearing from our guests today and learning a little bit more about managing money in the United States. Please stay tuned for future episodes. Until then, I'm your host, Tatiana Espinal, and this is Immigrant Voices.